Hey, Soul Squad. Hey, Soul Squad. Welcome to the kitchen. You see beef broth, you see carrots, you see onion, and you see that beautiful red chuck roast back there? So that's what we doing. I'm doing chuck roast this year for Thanksgiving, and I thought I'd bring my recipe to you guys. So sit back and relax. Take notes. It's very easy. And like I always say when we do this video, before we even get started, you want to do what? We're going to do what? We're going to hit that intro. Okay, so squad, we're going to keep this real simple. I have an onion right here that I'm about to cut up. You always cut the edges off. I'm sorry I'm not in camera. The camera going to get moved real soon. And a lot of you guys probably wonder why I'm doing my videos like this now. I have to get with the times. YouTube send me a message saying, hey, short vertical videos is the way to go. Your page will, benefit from it. So I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to get with the times. I know it could be awkward for you, but it's somewhat awkward for me. I am having such a hard time getting this onion peel off. I don't know what's going on with this. I normally don't have such a rough time doing onions, but today it's like, girl, what is the problem? So we're going to do but she's coming along, right? Trust me, it's much easier than this thing. Peeling off an onion. I don't know what was going on with me in this moment, y'all. But I'm back. I had to get off camera. I said, you know what? No, you're not going to do me like this. So, yes, I'm cutting my onion up. Now, you can use green peppers. You could use yellow peppers. You could use the onions and all that stuff. But, ooh, that was kind of slippery right there. Y'all got to watch myself. And you know what I need to do? Start putting some type of napkin there because onion juice is getting everywhere and making it hard to cut this onion. But I'm only using like half of the onion. I'm not a big onion person, but I know to cook with it. It gives your food such much flavor. And I'm using that's SoulfulT Unstoppable Seasoning, guys. You better get yours. The holidays around the corner. So we're going to season her up. And remember, do the front and the back of this. But only thing I'm using my season is very powerful. It's not salty. It gets out good flavor. So yes, I'm using my hands because it's those for me and my family. And I'm just rubbing in all that good old delicious seasoning to this roast. I want to get her all up in there. And I'm going to flip her over. This is a thick piece of meat. So I have to really, use a lot of seasoning. Now, everybody be like, oh my God, you use too much seasoning. No, this is a thick piece of meat. This is the only seasoning that I'm using because my seasoning is very powerful. It's going to work its magic. And when I'm just going to rub it all in there. And then I want to make its own gravy. You can use this roast and make its own gravy. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I don't sear my meat. I never did. I'm old school. I learned from my mother. We season the flour, baby. And I'm using a SoulfulT seasoned flour on this too. Even though I season it with the mix, I'm still using the flour because like I said, this is a thick piece of meat. And I want to make sure that it gets very seasoned, that it has lots of flavor. And then that flour helps mix the gravy. So if you don't have my flour, guys, you can still use regular flour. You can still use your regular seasoning. But this video was made with all my products, and I approve that. So if you want to get your hands on my products, it's going to be in the description below. It's going to be pinned to the comment. Also going to let you say it's soulfulw.myshopify.com. If you get your orders in by the 15th of November, I can guarantee that you'll have Thanksgiving shipping on your seasoning, on your flour, your Grandma Jackie pie mix. I'm going in with my onions. Once you flour her up real good, you can start adding your vegetables in, be it onions or peppers or any type of vegetable that you want in your roast. Once I add in my onions, guys, I'm going to go ahead and throw my carrots in there. I ain't do that much. I would have had little potatoes as well But since I'm doing mashed potatoes, I didn't want potatoes. I sprinkled a little bit of seasoning on top of those carrots. Y'all, we going to make this thing bussin', okay? After I do all that, move her around, and make sure everything is seasoned with the onions, I'm going to go in with some beef broth, and I'm going to pour beef broth all in the corners of this. Y'all, for this, use at least about, because I end up adding more beef broth to this, use at least about maybe a cup and a half of beef broth, because you want that gravy to get made. You want that beef to really cook up in that juices, even though it's going to create juice, but I just add a little bit more. Now I'm going to add a little more foil over this. I got my oven preset at 350, y'all, and I'm going to cook this. This is not a big roast, but it is a thick roast, and you want it tender. In the oven, she going to go on 350. Yeah, I'm looking about maybe 3.5 hours. I want my girl to cook, and I did not touch her. 350, I think I let her cook like for 3 hours. I didn't flip it. I didn't do anything. The oven is going to do its process. It's going to do its work. My family said them curries were so flavorful. I said, Look at her, y'all. She is cooked. This is what you want her to fall apart. Watch this. I'm about to take her with these tongues, and she just going to fall apart. Look at her. See, when I told y'all I'd use like a cup and a half, because I didn't use that much broth, so it made a thickness for me. But what I'm going to do is add a little bit more broth to this. No, I'm not putting this back in the oven. This is done. I'm just adding some extra broth to stir it up to get them juices flowing to make the gravy that I need to make. Do not put her back in the oven. And she cooked about 3.5 hours, and she came out tender the way this came out tender. Don't put her back in the oven. Just add a little bit of chicken broth in there, stir it up around the sides, and it's going to incorporate what's already in there, and it's going to, make that gravy stretch. And that's all I did. Y'all, this was so good. This is a good dinner for a Tuesday night. Yeah, I did do this on Tuesday, so you guys getting this on a Wednesday. But yeah, so if you want this recipe, go ahead. This will be a good recipe. I say it's quick, it's easy, and there's nothing to it. The only thing you're doing is seasoning the meat, putting in your vegetables. Look at her. She was good, y'all. And place her in the oven. The oven is doing the work. You just got to make sure she don't burn. So use like a cup and a half of beef broth. Now I'm going in with some potatoes. I told you I'm making some garlic mashed potatoes. Some creamy garlic mashed potatoes. These are the potatoes that I'm using. Yeah, I'm about to cut them up, and boom, there you go. They're cut. And now I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to cut them in dices. I'm cutting them up in dices, big fat dices. I don't have to be a whole lot, but just enough. And I'm cutting them up just like that. Okay, guys, after I cut my potatoes up, I'm going to rinse them in cold water. And what I always do this with my potatoes, I rinse them in cold water till the dirt is off of the water is clear, and you can see that the water is clear. Just like you do your rice, for the water's not foamy or looking, light brownish, basically looking dirty. I do this with my potatoes. I just clean a lot of my stuff, y'all. But yeah, I'm just going to do cold water. I'm using cold water with this. And I'm just going to keep doing it until the water is the way I want it. I think I lost a potato right here. But yeah, I'm just going to keep doing it till the water is the way I want it. And I always use, when I do my potatoes, my yams and my potatoes, when I clean them, I don't know why. I always use cold water, because cold water make it have an even cook on it. So now I'm just adding, look, my filter came loose. I got to fix that. But I'm back. I'm using cold water. This is some chicken bouillon base right here, roasted chicken bouillon. And I'm going to use about maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons of this, but I'm using a fork when I do it. Just because it's going to give it that flavor. I'm not even using a fork, I'm using a spatula. It's going to give it that flavor. So when you make your mashed potatoes, cook it in some chicken broth, some chicken powder, or right here I have this roasted chicken bouillon, and let me tell you, it's going to give that flavor to those potatoes. Now I usually put my potatoes on the stove and let them cook for like 30 to 40 minutes. These cook about 40 or 50 minutes because I want them to fall apart, honey. I want them to be easy mash. I got that curry gold garlic butter. I'm only using half. If I had to use like a whole 5-pound bag of potatoes, I would use the whole thing. But at this point, I'm only using half. And to this, I'm also going to add some cream cheese. Look, y'all, I had a hard time getting her out the package. Come on, girl. You got it. Just come and do, come to mama. Get in those potatoes. All right, she's coming. There she go. Okay, and then I'm gonna add in some sour cream, about 1/4 cup of sour cream. You gotta have some sour cream on the potatoes. It's just what you do, okay? And then to those potatoes, I'm actually gonna go in with a little bit of milk. Not even a whole lot of milk, because I really don't even like using milk in my mashed potatoes, but I want these to be kind of creamy, so I added a little bit of milk in there. And I'm going to take my hand mixer, and you could use a smasher, a hand mixer, a fork, a big giant spoon, whatever you could use to get the potatoes all mashed up. And this is where they can come in really, really creamy. And I add in some seasoning. I'm going to add in some garlic powder and some pepper to this as well. But yeah, just get her in there and stir up, get some creamy mashed potatoes. Don't make them too creamy, but yeah. And then after they sit for a minute, guys, they're going to thicken up anyway. But yeah, the mashed potatoes came out great. This is actually my first time using a hand mixer. I used to just smash them with a potato smasher, but I don't have one. And I think you guys see me do mashed potatoes before. I even use a spoon because I let my potatoes cook for so long that they just be ready. Honey, they just be ready to get smashed. So you don't have to have a smasher. You don't have to have a hand mixer. If you got a big spoon and potatoes is cooking to soften, honey, that spoon would do just right. I'm going in with some pepper, some garlic powder, and I'm just going to take my I'm not even going to use the hand mixer. I'm going to go here and just, y'all know, I don't like doing voiceovers, but I'm going to mix it up, okay? I added a little bit of pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of salt, and there she is. And they're nice and creamy, not as thick as I want them, but look, they're nice and creamy. My sons don't like some of the lumps in it, because they be like, yeah, you know this is homemade mashed potatoes. But yeah, but they came out good, and trust me, when they set, they got thicker. But we going in now with some mashed potatoes. Going to put her in the center of this plate because somebody ready to eat somewhere. They kept saying the house smells so good. I said, I'm here making roast beef and carrots and onions and some mash. They were ready, honey. And when I say that we all ate this, we all ate this. This is a good meal. Wasn't no Taco Tuesday over here. Okay? We had a Sunday dinner over here. But look at that roast. She came out good. Nice and tender, just falling apart. My son came home from work. He was like, them carrots busting. I said, they are, aren't they? I said, I seasoned them up real well. And I'm just going to place some of this roast beef, chuck roast right in the middle. Yeah, and y'all know why I keep doing voiceovers? Because I got my music playing. Man, I be glad when you two start letting us play music. It's nothing like cooking dinner and listen to your favorite song. You be in the house rolling. And that's what I was. I was in the house rolling, listening to music. I was like, here we go. Another voiceover because I can't turn off this Alexa Echo. But y'all, that looked busting. It was good. Anybody tired of my voiceovers, just let me know because they're hard, man. I'm not even, it's no, like Anthony say, it's no fancy editing over here. I'm going to talk the best. I'm going to talk and get this video to you guys. But yes, look at that. Make this your next Thanksgiving meal.